everybody, it's me, Miss Strasser here with your mentor lesson for this week. So we're going to be looking at something that we have probably lots of experience with, the apostrophe. I think that this punctuation mark specifically, you guys have had lots of experience with. You've seen it before. You've seen it in reading. You've written with it. But I noticed a lot on our language NWEA. There was lots of questions like which sentence has a comma used correctly, or which answer uses an apostrophe incorrectly. So we're going to be kind of preparing for those types of questions this week with something that we kind of have already covered. So when we think about the apostrophe, what I want you to think in your brain of some reasons in writing when we use an apostrophe. So times where you would have to write or type a word with an apostrophe. And if you don't know what an apostrophe is, I encourage you to think about that right now in your brain too, of times or even what that is. So I'll give you just a second here as I get my list ready. So hopefully you kind of came up with some ideas in your brain of what an apostrophe is used for. So when I think of this specific punctuation mark, I think of contractions. So when I use a contraction like can't, wasn't, I'm, those are examples of contractions that need an apostrophe in between them. So like I said, for instance, if I said I'm is an example, can't is an example, wasn't is an example of a word that uses an apostrophe. Another example of a word that would need an apostrophe is a possessive. This is something that we have covered in this class. However, it was quite some time ago. So we're kind of bringing back those types of words. So when we think of possessive, we think of words that show ownership. So, for instance, if I said the dog's bone, that would need an apostrophe there. If I said the class's pencils, okay, I'm showing more than one, and I have to show ownership, so that apostrophe kind of goes in a different spot. Another opportunity for a possessive could be like if I'm using someone's specific name. So Sally's dress. I don't know. Again, words that are showing ownership. And then when we think about some opportunities for where people mix them up, a lot of people think that if I am using a plural, I need to have an apostrophe there. So if I were to type a sentence like, she is bringing eggs to the brunch. I don't know. This is a plural here. There is no need for an apostrophe. But sometimes, we can forget about that. So just remember that just because there's more than one doesn't necessarily mean an apostrophe is needed. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to have 3 multiple choice questions, that you're going to need to just kind of solve along with me as I talk, and then there will be an activity at the very end that I'm going to ask you to do on your own. So this first question, I just want you to think in your brain. I'm going to give you an opportunity to pause the video. I know specifically for my class, I am going to probably say all 3 classes because you do need to prove that you've done something. I'm going to ask you right now to get a sticky note out. And then on this sticky note, you will be able to put A, B, C, or D for your answers. I'm going to ask for these sticky notes when I get back from my meeting after lunch. So I think this would be an appropriate time to pause and get out a sticky note and a pencil, and then we can get going. So if you have those materials out, that's awesome. I'm going to read this question. So which sentence uses an apostrophe correctly? So you've got 4 here. The store's stock is nearly gone. The final task was Bill's undoing. The next day's test will decide his fate. And the restaurant's license expires next month. So you need to locate which sentence uses the apostrophe correctly. Remember, it could be to show ownership, and it could be to use as a contraction. All of these sentences have an apostrophe in them, but only one of them has it correct. I'm going to ask you right now to put A, B, C, or D. Wow, loud car engine. On your sticky note, and then we will move on to the next question. Feel free to pause at any time. The second one here is, which sentence is using an apostrophe correctly? The moose's behavior during the spring was crazy. The dogs are theirs. And the hiker's tick bites put her at risk of serious illness. So again, 3 sentences, all using an apostrophe, but only one is using it correctly. So I'm going to ask that you kind of decide which one here, A, B, or C, and put that on your sticky note. This is the second one, number 2. Feel free to pause. And then the third one, same thing, which one uses an apostrophe correctly? Larry's determination was evident from the start. Julia's task was finished by midnight. Dana always walks to Bonnie's house. David wants bikes like Trevor's. And there is supposed to be a period here. My apologies. Again, lots of situations here. There are no contractions in any of these that are on this slide, but you've got plurals, you've got possessives. But again, there is only one that is correct. So put your answer to this one. By this point, if you have all 3 of your answers on a sticky note, that's awesome. Make sure your name is on it. And then I would stick that sticky note in the corner of my desk. I know that when I come in from lunch, after I drop you guys off at lunch, I'm going to be collecting those sticky notes right away. I'm just going to go around the room and get them. So put those in the corner of your desk, easy access to see that you completed the task. And then you did your job for that part of Mentor today. The second part is probably something that you have in front of you that's on the Mentor sheet that's given to you guys normally throughout the year. We've been doing that. So this one is pretty simple. There are complete sentences here, 4 of them. Absolutely everything is correct about them. There are no errors. But what we are going to do is we're going to read each sentence and we're going to create the sentence in a different way using an apostrophe with a possessive. So the bag that belongs to Shay contained all of her books. Another way that I could rewrite this is Shay's bag contained all of her books. And feel free to do this with me and write that down yourself. That is how I would do that first one. Again, I got to shrink the sentence. I used an apostrophe correctly, and the message of the sentence stays the same. What I want you to do is I want you to do 2, 3, and 4 on your own, creating a possessive using an apostrophe and rewriting that sentence, potentially shortening it as well. Don't forget a capital letter and a period at the end. And this is another thing that just needs to get clipped into your Mentor section of your writing binder. This is a very regular routine that we would normally do as a class if I was there. So that is all for Mentor. When you finish this, you're more than welcome to get out of the video and jump into writing. Great job, guys. Thanks for being here. And good luck with the rest of the time.